Hey everyone, RWCube here, and today I'm going to show you how to solve the 3x3 Rubik's Cube. So I've gone ahead and given my cube a good scramble. However, we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. So this is part one of a two-part tutorial. And basically what that means is, in part one, we're going to be going over the basic concepts of the cube itself. So what that means is basically, the color orientation of the cube, edge pieces and corner pieces, misconceptions about the cube, etc. So if you understand most of that, and notation is another big one. So if you understand all of that, notation, color orientation, etc. Then go on to part two, which is the actual tutorial. If you don't, then keep watching part one. So let's go over the basics. One of the main misconceptions about the Rubik's Cube is that there are 54 pieces. And here's where it comes from. So there are 9 stickers on one face. So it's a 3x3 square, so that equals 9. And then there are 6 faces on a cube, and 9 times 6 is 54. So people are like, oh, well, there's 54 pieces on a Rubik's Cube that I have to solve. Well, unfortunately, this is a misconception, because there are 3 types of pieces on a Rubik's Cube. There are center pieces, which is just one color, edge pieces, which have 2 colors, and corner pieces, which have 3 colors. And as a result, even though there are 54 stickers, per se, on the cube, such as on this one, in actuality, there are not 54 pieces, because sometimes there's more than one color or sticker on one piece. So as a result, there are 6 center pieces, there are 12 edge pieces, and there are 8 corner pieces, for a grand total of 26 pieces. So first misconception / concept about the cube, there are 26 pieces, not 54, and I'll go into why that's important later. Okay, so I just talked about center pieces, edge pieces, and corner pieces. But let's go over a little bit about the centers. So obviously the center is the piece in the middle of each face. And it's a very, very important piece. I would argue out of the 3 pieces, it's the most important on the Rubik's Cube for many reasons. However, one of the main ones is something called color orientation. And basically what that means is, if you look at a solved cube, white is opposite yellow, okay? Blue is opposite green, and red is opposite orange. Now, there are more detailed color orientations, like if white's on bottom and orange is facing me, then blue's on the right, etc. But we're not going to go into that. Let's just focus on the opposite. White, yellow, orange, red, and then blue, green. So basically, if you look at a scrambled cube, let's just look at the center pieces, all right, and see if it's the same. Well, let's see. White is opposite yellow, okay. Blue is opposite green, and orange is opposite red. Was that just a coincidence? Turns out it's not. Basically, the centerpiece defines the face. Now, what I'm saying here is the centerpieces are never going to change the relative positions. So no matter how much you scramble the cube, then they will always, have white opposite yellow, and so on, so on, and so forth. And for that reason, since the centerpieces are fixed, then you want to put all the white pieces on the side with the white center. So that's an important concept to know. The center pieces never change the relative positions, and they define the face. So the face with the white center is the white face. So the third concept we're going to be talking about in this video is notation. Now, this is going to be huge in your road to solving the Rubik's Cube. And it's going to be huge as you get faster and start to speed solve and etc. So basically, I've just made up this little paper. When you see something called an algorithm, which is basically just a written series of moves, then it's going to look something like this. It's going to have letters. And there are 6 letters that you're going to see. So let's just go over this really quick. So here's a U. Now what that means is you turn the up face clockwise. Now which one is the up face? Well, let's see. We're facing red, okay? So now the one above red is white. So that means that white is the up face because it's on the up side of the cube. So when you see a U, that denotes you turning the up face or white clockwise. So it's like this. Notice how it goes clockwise? Let me do that again. Clockwise. So here's an R. So that just means right clockwise. So red is here. So blue, we turn clockwise. And then left. So here's red. Green, we turn clockwise. And then face is just red because we're facing it. So we turn face clockwise. Back. So red is here. So orange is opposite us. So we want to turn the back face clockwise. Like this. And now we see D, or down clockwise. So yellow is on the bottom, so it's down, so you turn that clockwise. Now there are going to be some other things that you see in your algorithms. So a lot of times you'll have this little apostrophe or hash mark, whatever you want to call it. And it'll be like a U hash mark. So what that means is we still use the same concept. So white is the up face or U because it's on top. But instead of turning it clockwise like we did last time, with this little hash mark, we want to turn it counterclockwise like this. Okay, so do that one more time. So we do like this, counterclockwise. All right. And then same goes for all these. So it's just right, left, face, back, and down, counterclockwise. So here's a right inverted, which is how you say, instead of saying right counterclockwise, you want to say inverted. So here's a right inverted, a left inverted, a face inverted, a back inverted. Let's see if I can, yeah. And then a down inverted. Okay. So, and the final thing you're going to see in algorithms is something called like a U2 or an R2, L2, and so on. And all that means is just you turn it twice. So, facing red, if we see U2, no, not the band, okay? Or does no one get that reference? Anyways, so white is up, so we turn it twice. And then same for R2, etc. So that's the basics of notation. I know it's a lot to take in. However, you don't really have to understand all of it right now. We're going to be doing a lot of notation and algorithms later on. So this can always be a reference you come back to, but you know, it's really more of a baseline. You don't have to understand the whole concept at this point. All right, guys. So that's pretty much it for part one. So if you're still wondering, how do I solve this thing and get it into this state? Well, you're going to have to watch part 2 of this video. And I know it's a little bit lengthy, however, I did not promise that it's not going to take you a little bit. So, you know, the part 2 link is in the description. So be sure to click on that for the tutorial on how to turn this into this. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Click on part 2 in the description below, and I will see you next time.